extensions. You've been here for 4 years. What's next, Katrina?
Okay, been here for 4 years. You're going to be coming to immigration to hopefully make an application for residency. And you're going to do this here at our headquarters, which is located on Airport Road. The documentation that you will need to be provided will be explained to you by one of our competent immigration officers here under the charge of Miss Ned or Miss Juliet Harris.
And we're going to talk to Miss Juliet Harris about what you need to do and about residency and citizenship. Juliet, you are the person to talk to if you decide you want to stay a little bit longer in Antigua and Barbuda and you decide that it's time that you got residency. Okay. So how long do you have to be here before you can actually apply for residency?
A person has to be living here for 4 lawful years.
Lawful years. Now, what counts as lawful years?
Lawful years will determine the status you have from immigration extensions and not leaving the state for more than 6 months, which will provide a gap.
Yeah. Now, what about those people? We have a lot of people who think that they'll get a tourist visa and then they'll go off after 3 months and come back in and get another stamp. Does that qualify?
No, it doesn't. The stamp that you receive at the airport, that's just a stamp to say that you're arriving in Antigua.
Right.
So that doesn't count as a lawful stamp.
So a lawful stamp is
the extension.
The extension.
That's correct.
Now, we've talked a little bit about extension. Mm-hmm. So an extension of stay is when, if you think that you want to live here longer, mm-hmm. and you're planning to get residency, you can get an extension of stay by going and saying, I want to build towards residency?
That's correct.
That is correct. And what do you need in order to qualify for residency?
For residency, you will need a few documents. You will need a copy of your birth certificate, should be apostille, a police record, that should be apostille. We need all the copies of the passports. If you've held 3 passports since you've been here, we need the bio pages of the passport, all the stamps that you've received when you get here, and you will need proof of address, which is a letter from the landlord, a utility bill, and a copy of the ID. Also, you will need a medical report, and you will need statutory letters.
Do you have to be able to prove that you can maintain yourself, that you have an income?
That's correct. You will need proof of financial stability, which is a job letter or a bank statement.
Right, and that's the definitive list of what you need?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the process then? You bring in all these documents, you fill in the form,
and we'll do an interview, and then that process will take 4 to 6 months, and you'll be given a call when it's completed.
Now, once you have your application in, mm-hmm. do you still need to have extension?
Yes, you still need to have your time up to date, not to have any gaps in your passport.
What about, I know a lot of people have been here for 20 years, mm-hmm. but they go off every 6 months, so they do go for that 6 months. They have disqualified themselves by doing that?
Once you're out for 6 months, that's a gap, so you'll have to start over.
A lot of people own property, but they only here for 6 months on, 6 months off, and even that property doesn't qualify them for anything?
Property owners can get an extension up to 1 year.
Okay, so that's what they should be doing. Even if they're actually going off, they need to get that extension.
Yes, because if you're going to go out 6 months, that's break of stay.
We have a lot of people in Antigua and Barbuda who have, they think, been living here for up to 20 years or so, and they actually own property, but they're only here for 5-6 months and they go off for 6 months. So they don't qualify for residency or citizenship.
Because most times they're out for 6 months, which is a gap. I would suggest that property owners will have the extension, which is valid up to 24 months.
So that would be the way to do it, to actually get that extension, to get that valid status in Antigua and Barbuda. So if they have a 2-year, 24-month extension, can they then pop off for a few months?
They can.
As long as they have that extension, that valid status. And what about citizenship, the next step? That's 7 years, I think, isn't it?
7 for CARICOM, and 8 for non-CARICOM.
But 8 lawful years in Antigua and Barbuda. Well, what's not to love of 8 years in Antigua and Barbuda? So what is the process for that? I'm assuming it's a little bit more rigorous.
The citizenship is quite similar to residency. You will need the same documents, and you'll have to come in to do the interview as well.
So it's more or less the same process.
More or less the same.
And presumably, because you have residency, you're obviously halfway there, but you've had that you've had all the checks, you've had the interviews, so you in immigration know that it's a good guy because he's already got through the first process.
Because we do have applicants that have resident permit, which is valid for 3 years.
Yeah.
And once they have the 8 years or the 7 years, they will come in and then apply for the citizenship.
Right. Should you start doing that process a little earlier?
You can, if you want to, or if you want to wait until the 3 years expire or close to the expiration of the 3 years in the application for citizenship.
And what if somebody's not quite sure about citizenship? They know they want this to be their home, but they're not quite sure, or the citizenship rules in their home country make it difficult. Can they apply for another 3 years residency?
They can renew their resident permit.
And is that something they can do long term?
Long term?
So keep going on residency.
Keep going, because there are some countries that does not allow dual citizenship.
Yeah.
So that person will have to do residency until.
And what are the advantages of becoming a citizen of Antigua and Barbuda? So Juliet, we've got a few options here. People who don't want citizenship can just get their residency renewed every 3 years. But what are the advantages of citizenship over just residency?
The advantages is some applicants would like to acquire lands.
Yeah.
Some would like to open bank accounts. And they feel as if Antigua is their home and they want to be a part of Antigua.
Well, that is a big thing there, that you want to be a part of it. And of course, land is very difficult if you're not a citizen as well. Juliet, thank you so much for joining me. Could you just tell us how we can contact you? Because everybody has a million questions.
If you'd like to contact the Citizen Department, you can contact us at 562-1387. Thank you.